Yeah, so it's a shame seeing our children like that, killing them themselves. But they never wanted us to be connected to our history. One of another books that I want, a book that I want you to go and read is 100 Facts About the Negro, by J.A. Rogers. I want you to go and get the book. It's called The Truth About Black Biblical Hebrew Israelites by Ella J. Hewley. And it's another book. It's called Israelites, the So-Called Negroes by Bernard Stephen Hooks. Excellent books in terms of understanding this information. And a book by Ben Jokanan. It's called We the Black Jews. There's a lot of history in those books. But J.A. Rogers, definitely a good book. And you have to get you a Bible. Not only with the cross-reference sections in it, but you have to have a lexicon and a dictionary that breaks down certain words so that you know exactly what they mean. This will all help you in your understanding and your coming across to presenting truth unto people. And get yourself a good dictionary, thesaurus, which one that I tend to use a lot is the 21st Century Roget's college dictionary, the thesaurus. Excellent in terms of understanding words and the meanings behind the way people wrote and different things of that nature. And there's a book called of Idioms by George Lamza, because he understands and have translated Bibles out of English into Aramaic and out of Aramaic into English of the scriptures, letting you know how they spoke in the idioms and what they mean by this, because there are people that still speak the languages today. So it breaks all that stuff down, so you know exactly what somebody meaning when they say that. A lot of stuff that was said in parables and codes and stuff that you think you taking off face value, and it doesn't mean that. So we got to open our eyes to a lot of stuff today, so we can see clearly about what's going on. Now, since these false white Jews and Christians teaching our pastors theology taught lies about the Old Testament because they never wanted us to be connected to our forgotten history, it's my position that you can't trust any people or other nations other than your own people, the Hebrews. And when I say Hebrews, I mean those that only teach the Torah. They don't mess around in that New Testament teaching any doctrine, because you don't understand that book. You should leave that book alone. Get yourselves together. You can get yourself together without getting into that book. There was no belief in ancient Israel about believing on a certain Messiah to come anyway, because all kings, prophets, and priests were messiahs. There's different aspects of it. David was a messiah in his day. Aaron was a messiah, and Moses was a messiah. They are raised to do a certain job, but this one that we're supposed to be looking for, and in the end of all things, to wrap everything up, he will be a fulfillment of all three roles, all in one person, and he will not have to die to fulfill all of the scriptures about him. And there's only a handful of messianic prophecies, not what these Christians believe that this is really about, because half the stuff that they have taught about, it doesn't even go down that way. It doesn't at all. And but you cannot trust nobody to teach you about this but your own people, because this is of us, according to John 4 verses 22 and Romans chapter 9 verses 3 through 5. Now, there's a lot of other information that I want to present to you, since I have this glorious opportunity to do so. Like, for instance, I want to speak to you about certain things about the end times that you didn't know about, and that you should open your eyes. But the reason why we can't rely on Gentiles to teach us is because I want you to look what Paul said about the Gentiles in 1 Corinthians 10 verses 20, and what David said about the Gentiles in Psalm chapter 96 verse 5, and what Isaiah said about the Gentiles in chapter 45 verse 20. Therefore, you can't trust what they say, let alone believe in their God and their religion that they gave to us as slaves. Now, how crazy would you be and insane that here are people that didn't find it inconsistent for you to be slaves and Christians at the same time in the late 1700s, so therefore they gave you their religion. And now 11 o'clock hour is the most segregated hour in all of America. You got a black God, you got a white God, you got a white Jesus and a black Jesus going on. But they all can collect the money to go in the same pot though, huh? Isn't that interesting? How could they give you their religion and their God and y'all accept this as okay? We got to wake up today. It shouldn't have to go down like that. You don't trust in what they say. You got to free yourself from their philosophies, their religions, their culture, everything that connects yourself with this American society in terms of their politics. Don't go and vote for nobody. That has nothing to do with you. There ain't nobody going to free you out of their hand. Look in the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Ain't nobody going to free you. So we don't give a damn if Obama is running. For what reason? Oh, because he's black, you're going to vote for him. Now, anybody that lives in Illinois understands that once Jesse White got into office, a black man, he made the Secretary of State office worse, and the penalties for different things is worse under Jesse White than it was under any white man that was ever in office, because he knew us, he knew how we operated. So now, yeah, off every insurance contract that's established, because Illinois is a mandatory insurance state, that the state gets 6 or 7% of each person that established insurances. You know what I'm saying? So when you get your car insurance, they already taxing that already. It's nothing but it's about money. They don't give a damn if you run into somebody else's car. It has nothing to do with that. Y'all better open up your eyes. But isn't their God already pictured in their church as God, according to 2 Thessalonians 2 verses 3 through 8? And it was written that our people would be on the street corners, all enraged, according to Isaiah 51:20. That ain't speaking about the Jewish people. And it was written that we were feared day and night in our community, filled with terror, stress, and sorrow, forever until we come to follow the prescription that the Creator gave us. So this is perpetually forever until you get yourself right, according to Deuteronomy 28:66 and Leviticus 26:16. So this didn't happen with with Europeans or anybody that's trying to be Israel. They could be Israel in name, but they ain't by blood, and they don't take upon these curses. They just want the blessings part of it. They don't want the curses. You got to take the whole loaf. You can't just take a slice. You got to take the whole loaf. See, and it was written that we will fill the prisons, and we are 9 times more in prison than Caucasians or the so-called white people. And that's in Isaiah 42:22. Now, before I tell you the good news, I want to just touch in on some of these end time prophecies that should have already occurred if Jesus was the Messiah. And I notice the names that I'm using here. Now, one, that Jesus falsely directly to the high priest Caiaphas, that he would see his second coming. Jesus used the term